There's no such thing as quick fixes or magic in dog training when we're talking about affecting long-lasting change in dogs that have behaviour issues that cause them harm. So for example, in reactivity, there's a number of protocols that we need to follow in order to help a dog become more comfortable around reactivity triggers, learn when it's appropriate to do work around those triggers, and when it's appropriate to move away because it's more than our dogs can handle, whether triggers can just be avoided in general or whether it's an obstacle that you need to help your dog get over so they can function normally and have an enjoyable life. There are a few things that you can do that will help your dog significantly. One of the big problems leading up to a severe reactivity case can start with simply a dog pulling on a lead. That might not sound like a big deal, but we have to consider the motivation for that dog's behaviour. If it's a simple training issue, then simple loose lead walk training will resolve it. If it's a sign of an emerging reactivity issue, that becomes a lot more difficult because there's a very good reason for the dog wanting to get from point A to B as quickly as possible. And that's usually a mixture of anxiety and frustration and can look very different in every dog. One thing that will help your dog infinitely is to reduce that tension on the lead. Now that's whether we're talking about frustration, I've got to get to point B as quickly as possible or I'm going to die, or whether it's a case of, oh gosh, this is really scary, let me get it over and done with as quickly as possible, or a combination of the two. The latter is often the case for our reactive dogs because they're in a state of conflict. They are social animals after all. Common reactivity triggers are people and other dogs. You can see how this would cause conflict in a social animal. I'm going to show you how we can help our dogs reduce tension on the lead. I'm going to insensitize her to pull on the lead by using some Frankfurter sausages at point E, and I'm going to take you through that training from point A to B and physically show you the things that I am doing to reduce tension on that lead, to help my dog relax enough to communicate with me, to cope with a small amount of frustration, and for the overall lesson to be that frustration doesn't lead to bad things happening because ultimately she's going to get to eat the sausages at the end.